The Horror Movie-cation of Mama E with Natalie, a For the Love of Ghosts podcast series. Hello everyone, welcome to The Weird Place. It's me, Mama E, aka Geraldine, and...
Me, Natalie. Hello, how are you doing?
So we have so far done, not in this particular order, but we've done The Omen, we've done Misery, we've done Lost Boys, Return of the Living Dead, and Jaws. So what have we got today? I think it's one of your favourites, is it not?
It might be my favourite horror movie of all time.
Wow.
And it also might be one of my top 10 films of all time.
Yep.
Um, and it might be because it's The Exorcist.
So I finally watched The Exorcist last year for the first time, like ever. I think it was one of the first, I think we couldn't remember whether it was The Exorcist or The Omen I actually watched first, but one of the first, like, true legendary horror movies that I watched.
And
Um,
you watched it with me at my
I did
house.
watch it with you at your house. And I did remark the opening scene just reminded me of Indiana Jones. I was like, it's an Indiana Jones movie. They are at an excavation dig.
The Exorcist, welcome to Hanatra. No, they're in Iraq.
I think I took the name down. I think it's Nineveh.
It is in Nineveh. Yeah. Yeah, modern day Nineveh. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And they also filmed there as well, which is actually really cool. And I think the reason that yeah, they filmed it in Iraq with and the only reason that they got permission to do it was because they had to hire like pretty much like the all of the crew that were out there, obviously apart from the director and Max von Sydow and a couple of the other actors. Everybody else on that crew was Iraqi. So yeah, so I think, bless him, Billy Friedkin was like, well, if we're going to spend all this money
Might as
filming
well
in
be
Iraq,
there for a while.
we might as well just like, yes, we're going to put every second of footage that we shot on the screen.
I
Thank you
could
very
explain it
much.
because I said that bit did go on for quite some time. I was like, it's quite quiet. Like lots happens, but it's all very, there's not a lot of speech.
No,
There's a lot of inference and sort of guidance, and you get the feel for who you don't realize is Father Merrin at the beginning, but you know that he's going through something. There's a lot of shaking with the meds. So that you feel like he's definitely going through something, but you're not entirely sure what he's going through. And then they make an
mm,
amazing, exciting discovery. That also is very Indiana, is the kid running over to tell him something's been discovered.
yeah, yeah.
Might as well have been shouting out, Indy! Indy! It's like, watermelon!
Actually, I can't. I think is it inferred that Merrin speaks
No,
Iraqi?
oh, does he? They do speak to each other, but I don't know.
Oh, and I've just lost the front page of my script.
Script, people! We have the script.
It's it's quite it looks quite chunky until you realise it's actually like only 140 pages long. This is a facsimile of the shooting script. I was very kindly given by somebody who was in the film.
That's so cool. I like that. I like that a lot.
But yeah, that whole Iraq scene, as shot, is only 4 pages long.
So yeah, considering how long it is for that beginning, I mean, it's a good sort of 10 minutes.
Easily, it's a lot of cuts. Like you,
You're
I'm
at
looking
you're
at
at
it.
the excavation site. Then he's gone to talk to his boss, I suppose, the head priest at the building, and then he's walking through. That's where you can feel that he's going through something because he kind of gets lost in his ways, nearly gets run over by a horse and cart, and then he ends up at another area where there's the statue, and
Yeah,
there's a lot going on, and there's the I've written here camera angle sounds nearly getting run over to suggest that father is not well. that he's going through something and walking to these ruins, and he goes to a particular statue.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where there's lots of signs of things not being right. Some random guy appearing just in the background, but looking quite, sinister. There's a bit there, I think there's a bit of a mummy feel, where they appear, that you've dug up something maybe you shouldn't have. Dogs
No,
fighting.
you must not read from the book.
Yeah, exactly. Don't do it. Oh, damn it. It would have been a very short film if they put it back. Can you imagine going, actually, I don't think this is a great idea. Just put it back. Just put it back.
If we could just put that back.
Just put it back now. Dogs fighting, screaming noises, it's all very symbolic.
Mm.
Weather and the wind. There's always a wind if it's something, not great.
There's a reason for the wind.
Reason for the wind.
The reason for the wind. But I will let you know when we introduce the antagonist of the film. I will tell you why there's a reason for
And
it.
also, it also showed, because having Maximum Sydow cast as that part, as a much older priest, and he was only 44 years old himself. Like, he's younger than you and older than me, but only by a little bit. Do you know what I mean? It's like the way they aged him, they did actually a really good job, because I always find sometimes, even now, when they age people up, they do
Mm.
too much. They
Yeah,
make them look too old for what they're meant to be, whereas what they actually did means he looked like he did in like Minority Report, 40,
yeah.
40 years later. They genuinely did age him as he did actually age.
Mm. It was really clever.
It was from 1973. I think is this one of the earliest movies we've looked at? Omen's like 75 or is
Yeah,
7. I think
yeah.
it's
This
the
is
earliest.
Omen 76. This is the earliest one. Yeah.
So I think they did a rather good job.
They
What
had well,
about you?
they had a fantastic makeup artist on it.
They really did.
I believe if I get this wrong, I'm going to be so mad at myself. I think it was a guy called Sid Smith. She says,
She said, double checking. Mm.
if I'm wrong, I'm going to be like,
But
uh-oh.
yeah, the face. What did they use? Liquid
I
latex.
think liquid latex, let it dry, and then
Just
let
let
it
it
dry,
run.
stretch it
Yeah.
out. Yeah,
It must
really clever.
it clever, but it must have been quite claustrophobic.
Oh God, yeah.
And the
Yeah.
hair. They lightened his hair, but again, they didn't go extreme. Like I think they did. Yeah, I think they did a really good job of making him look like an old man as opposed to
They,
a young man they aged.
they didn't really have to lighten his hair all that much because, after all, he is Swedish.
Of course he is. Oh my God. I've forgotten. All roads lead back to Sweden when it comes to us.
All roads lead back to Ghost.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, Max von Sydow is very Swedish. Uh,
Yes, the accent.
Dick Smith.
Dixman.
Dick Smith was the chief makeup artist on this
Amazing.
particular
Incredible.
film.
Incredible talent. Like, seriously.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So just the
I think
stuff.
also, I mean, obviously this will get discussed as we go along about the film, but also how um Chris or Mrs. McNeil, who we will meet imminently, how they age her and how what goes on in the movie affects how she looks. I thought that was really well done. Like,
Mhm.
genuinely looked tired or exhausted or drained. Like, it
Yeah,
wasn't, hey, they've stuck some makeup under her eyes to make it look like it. She genuinely looked quite haggard. So,
but she did get injured on the film, so that might have had something to do with it as well.
we'll get to that bit. Health and safety? What's that? 1973? Yeah, whatever. We'll even involve children. Let's cover that in a bit. So don't go anywhere. So is these the little annoying snippets just to make sure that people like stay?
Yeah, Absolutely.
Listen on.
Um,
Just tell us what you were going to say. No. And
no.
what possibly happened is we're both ADHD and we might forget. So I'm really sorry.
So if
Um,
we forget, just prod us in the comments. We'll
yeah,
have
type it to you. Yeah,
to.
exactly. So after the very sort of, rustic opening scene of this dig
In Hamanaptra.
in Nineveh, we are now in Georgetown, USA, like city center. Um, and it comes to a mum checking on her daughter who's in bed. Mum's like, come home a bit late, checks, closes the window. You're introduced to Mrs. McNeil, and it shows also that she has help around the house, that she's doing quite well, that she has, I don't want, well, it's not servants, that sounds awful. She
She
has,
has a housemaid, a groundskeeper,
yeah, that's it.
and Sharon, who is Reagan's
Nanny,
governess slash nanny.
but
Yeah,
also a friend.
slash Chris's PA.
Yeah, so yeah. So we're introduced to her that way, and that she's tucked her daughter up. And the next scene, I think again, I noticed actually the scene changes are really quick within
Yeah.
this film. And sometimes they just flash a scene to you, someone like moves something or does something before it comes back to something else before going back to there. So it's almost
Mm.
going, hey, we're going to come over here soon. And you're like, oh, okay, what's going to go? Okay, so I do feel it's one you can't really look away from. Otherwise, you go,
There are quiet moments, but in those quiet moments, there is a lot of information being sort of
miss it if you're not looking, and if
important to the
you're
viewer.
typing notes because you're studying for an exam. So there was a few times I had to rewind back to go, okay, that's what I missed. What was he looking at? I missed it. Oh my god. So next she's on a film set. So this is what shows that Mrs. McNeil is an actress. And this is where they also introduce Burke. He's the director, isn't he? It's Burke who's the director.
Okay. Yes, played to perfection by Jack McGowan.
Yes, because I have a list of the people. So the characters are Chris McNeil by Ellen Burstyn.
Bursting. It would be funny if you actually quizzed me on this cast,
Okay.
Mel.
Well, we know who plays Father Merrin.
That would be Max von Sydow.
Reagan.
Uh, oh God, I can see her in my head. I know her name. We'll come back to her. Linda Blair.
It's got like another like horror movie name in the title there. Linda.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Kinderman.
Oh,
That's,
Kinderman.
yeah.
Lee someone.
Yes, Lee J.
Bugger. That's not his name.
That would be very interesting.
Why do I want to say Lee J. Cobb?
You're right. Yes. 10 points that one. Then you have Burke Dennings.
Jack McGowan.
Thank you. Then Father Karras.
That is
It's got a wonderful surname.
yes, it's God.
Best surname ever.
It is Jason Miller, isn't it?
Yes, it is Jason Miller.
Yeah. Why am I doubting myself?
Stop it. Just say the name. Father Dyer. He's not in a lot, so like
No, and he's not, and he is actually a father.
He's is he an actual priest? He's very
Yeah,
important in it.
he is an actual priest, yes.
But his real name? Do you know this one?
Father William O'Malley.
Well done. Again, 10 points to that lady. And then the voice of the demon.
Mercedes McCambridge.
Isn't that a great name? I typed that one out.
Fantastic name.
She's got a good voice. She's got one of those voices. Anyway, and the demon, as she is referred to in the credits or on IMDb, Demon Face.
That would be Eileen Dietz.
That would be Eileen Dietz. They're the only ones I took down. There are other people, but whew, Eileen Dietz. So So we see her as an actress. They're filming something with a school or whatever, what's going on, and it's all very good. And it's also the first time we get a glimpse of Father Karras. But
I'll
at
tell
this
you what, University of Georgetown would be very disappointed to hear you refer to their campus as a school or something.
sorry.
No, but it's like the first time I saw it, I went, "What is that supposed to be? Is that a? Is it a
I just thought it was a
school?"
uni I thought it was a university.
See,
Right.
I didn't know. I couldn't work it out whether because, and I think because I'd never seen it before, and then all of a sudden you get the close up on the priest. I'm like, is it a uni or is it a religious establishment that they're protesting? I wasn't quite sure.
I didn't really take much notice of this because I thought, well, it's her filming a film. I wasn't invested in what they were talking about. He was just trying to direct and say, oh, they think they're going to knock it down, and that was it. That's all I.
I was too invested the first time I saw it, and that's why it scared the shit out of me, and I didn't watch it again for another 20 plus years.
I was also a lot older when I watched it and had lived through like Buffy and Angel and various Star Treks and stuff like that. Which, to be honest, now watching this, like, I get why it's an 18. It's more to do with language, but visually, and yeah, it's really freaking scary. Don't get me wrong, but I did watch Buffy and Angel, and you had scary demons tying people up, fire, and all the rest of it on normal 6 o'clock telly on BBC
Yeah,
Two. So I think I wonder if that's why a lot of like newer films, I think they've kind of got themselves back a bit now, but why so many newer films went for the intense
mm.
horror and constant death and slasher and because like people were a bit more immune to like.
I think they kind of, yeah, I think they had to kind of up the ante.
Mhm.
And you're right. I mean, I watched this the first time I watched The Exorcist, I was 16 or 17. It had just been given um sort of a new general release in the UK because I don't know whether this was one of the films
Is it banned or?
that was banned for a long time because we had that whole
Oh, is it
video.
because it's with religion as well?
I don't know. I think it was this classed as one of the video nasties? Because I know the Evil Dead was in there, and I saw that entirely too young. I was 9 when I first saw the Evil Dead. There is no way I could have been watching that at 9 years old. Um, Scarred for life from the original Evil Dead. And I always said that there would be two movies, two horror, and I love horror. And I think everyone that's watched us by now knows that I love horror movies. This is my lane. This is my wheelhouse. This is what I like. I always there would be two horror movies I would never, ever, 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 ever watch again. One of which was The Evil Dead. The second one was The Exorcist.
We're gonna watch The Evil Dead though, so isn't that one we're
Oh,
doing with Richie?
yes, yeah. I mean, yeah.
It's still coming on, Richie. It's been said now.
Yeah. We've said it out loud. Richie from Gonst is going to join us on the show. We're going to
He's
talk
saying
about The
his
Evil
name
Dead
three
with him.
times. He should materialize.
He's a bit like Beetlejuice.
Richie,
But
Richie.
yeah, so yeah, I said I would never watch either of those again, and then I don't quite know how I've got here with
With
this.
The Exorcist, like, I suppose I watch these horror movies very differently to how most people probably watch them. As I said, I'm sat there with my iPad taking notes. Like,
You're studying, yeah.
I'm studying, so I'm there going, oh, camera angles and music. But I don't know if I've said before, but I did come from that ilk. So I was at university, I did a broadcasting and digital technology. So I was on the engineering side, but I was also involved in some of the sort of that side of things as well. So I think that's why my brain automatically goes to camera angles and music. And also, I think it's a way for my brain to go, this isn't scary.
But on the flip side of that, I would have thought that this might have affected you more because of your religious background.
Oh no, never has done, nothing ever does when it comes to religion. I'm people always use it as was it a blueprint to put stories round. You've got the likes of the Da Vinci Code, or
You're not a very good Catholic, then, are you? Your mother would be so disappointed in you, Geraldine Miller.
yeah, probably that's catchy. But I don't. It's not. I don't see it like that. So no, it
No.
doesn't. I mean, it's
And
not
I
what
think
I do to my religion. So
you going back to what you were saying about how films have changed so much from where we were with this movie to sort of the stuff that you see on the screen now. If you think about when this came out,
yeah, 1973.
the 26th of December to be precise, 1973. This was a Christmas film, people. Christmas.
It's a Christmas movie.
Um, if you think about what horror movies had been before this, they'd had
Blob. Sorry.
The Blob, you know, um, stuff of that ilk, the
I think it
1950s
was
sort of
aliens. It was always more aliens and Attack from Mars, and not Attack from Mars. What's the one with the War of the Worlds? Sorry,
Creature from the Black Lagoon,
Creature from the Black Lagoon.
um, Hammer horror, Dracula, The Wolfman, those kind of films. And all of a sudden, they are presented with this, with a
Very
12-year-old girl sitting in a bed, vomiting up pea green soup,
the main
cur-
character, as it were.
cursing the living daylights out of not only religion, but also men.
Yeah, she did a mum joke. I'm not going to say what she said about what his mum was doing in hell, but
She was darning socks so well.
yes, very well, very, very well in hell. Your mum. It was definitely, it did make me think, it's a your mum joke, that is. It's like, but I also think this film doesn't portray religion in a bad light. Unlike the Omen, where you realise that within the establishment of religion there is a dark order that is trying to bring something about, which almost puts a bad light on organised
Mm.
religion. In the end, it is, resolved because of Father Merrin and Father Karras.
Mm.
Like, so it doesn't, you've got Father Dwyer at the end, and them trying to deal with everything. So I think within this film, it's just showing like demons and how humans try and cope with those, and whether the demon, like we were also talking about, going off on another tangent, is this demon a symbolism for something human, something real, rather than an actual
Mm.
demon, which we'll go again further into as we go along. It's like,
Well, this is just first thoughts and ruminations and
yes.
that
So
sort of thing.
we've had our first viewing of Father Karras. I think he's just walking carrying a briefcase. He doesn't say anything. We just see him. We don't know
Yeah,
whether he's important yet. We figure he is because they followed this guy just walking away.
yeah,
And then you see I don't know, Chris leaving work, tells her chauffeur she'll actually walk home. There's tense music, which is really weird because actually I always have my subtitles up and it actually wrote tense music. But it's a nice bright place. There's kids playing, she's smiling at people, and other people are walking, and it seems quite nice, but there's tense music, and then as she's walking, she goes past the church and she sees the priest having a tense conversation. But you don't hear what they're saying because a jet flies over. And that's what my subtitles told me again. Jet flying over. Um,
oh,
yeah, I know. It was like, oh, so that's what that noise is. I just thought it was because she couldn't hear and she's trying to, but no, jet flying
yeah,
over. So she sees them having this conversation. She gets home. Her PA lady, the one who also helps with Reagan, gives her an invite, and it's an invite from the White House, which shows you how big an actress she actually is. That she
yeah,
is important. She's had an invite to the White House, and shows she's successful. Then it shows a really nice interaction between her and Reagan, that they've actually a really loving mum-daughter relationship. You
yeah. They do. They have a really close bond, those
Yeah,
two.
and she's tickling her
Reagan
and
begging for a
taking.
pony.
Yeah, what was that?
Reagan begging for a pony. Oh, I saw a really pretty horse, Mom. Can we get a horse, please? Can we? Can we get a horse, please? Where
Well,
are you going to put it? In your cupboard? I don't think so, love. Good
I
grief.
think I think what's really sweet though, even though she is obviously knows her mum can afford it, she doesn't seem spoiled. She seems a genuinely nice,
Well adjusted. Yeah.
well-adjusted, level-headed 12-year-old. And she does seem a 12-year-old. She's doing her artwork, she's just doing her fun things. So we see that. So it ends with them having a laugh and a giggle. She's tickling, her mum's tickling her daughter and all the rest of it. And then the next shot is Father Karras at the train station. And it's all a bit, you can tell again that there's something going on. There's a heaviness, and obviously there's the noises of the train, and that's where he sees that homeless guy. Father, will you help an old altar boy? I'm Catholic, you know.
To help an old altar boy, father. I'm a Catholic.
Yeah. New Jersey. Is that New Jersey accent? New York, New
New
Jersey,
York.
New
It's New
York,
York.
New
Help
York.
an old altar boy, father. I'm a Catholic. If they need somebody to come in and do overdubs at some point, I'm more than hi.
You're more than welcome. So he goes to a run-down part of town, which is very different to where we've just seen Chris living. There's graffiti, there's bins everywhere. He goes up into an apartment block, lets himself in, shows a residence, and you see him putting his stuff down. There's a picture of him on the wall, and I'm like, it's so where they got the idea for Rocky, because it's him as a boxer. So you then find it's his mama's place. It's mama's place, and she calls his name's Damien, but she calls him Dimmy. And he's come to check on her. He's redressing her leg. She's obviously got something going on, a sore or an ulcer or something. He's telling her she's got to stay off her feet and she needs to rest and not to be going up and down the stairs. But obviously it's quite a journey away from where he's living. She's quite far away, which is you can see it's putting a pull on him.
Well, yeah, DC to New York is not a short distance. That's states away from each other. So
Yeah, so he's coming. If he wants to see her, it's quite a long way to go. He wants her to go into a home because he doesn't want her to be lonely, and she's obviously not totally very, well. But she doesn't want to leave her home. Older lady. This is her home. Nothing's going to make her leave her home, and she's concerned for him and insists she's fine. So we see that relationship again. It's a nice mother-son relationship. They obviously care very much for each other, but showing, she's so much older and all the rest of it. And then the next shot is back at Chris's house, Mrs. McNeil's house, and it's her and Reagan down in the basement. A rather nice lit, well, laid out basement.
a
And
basement I wouldn't be unhappy to be in.
no, and she's doing her artwork, and her mum puts the bird over somewhere to dry, and then she spots the Ouija board. Oh, I should have worn those. I have Ouija board earrings.
I've got Ouija earrings as well.
All my Ouija boards. Oh well, never mind. Next time. If anyone ever
We'll
comes
have,
to
to
me,
take, we'll have to take them with us when we go on our holiday.
yes, we will. We'll take our Ouija board earrings. Yes, yes, yes. So she goes to show Reagan how it works. What? Do you know how one of these works? Yes, Mum. And she goes to take the I don't know, the handpiece, and it pulls away. The what? The planchette.
Planchette, I believe it's called.
Planchette.
Yeah. Yeah. I only know that because I've got it on the necklace.
Oh, there you go. But the board doesn't let her. She thinks Reagan's done it, but something pulled it away. And she's
No,
like,
that definitely was not Reagan. That shot across that board.
yes.
Talking of Ouija boards, have you ever and would you ever?
No and no.
Oh.
Captain Howdy. I don't need a Captain Howdy in my life.
Well, let's just say Captain Howdy was there for Reagan on her birthday when her father wasn't.
That is true. That is true.
And if you pick up on it just right, Reagan's father's name is Howard. I think when she was using the board,
she was trying to
something was she was trying to reach her father. I don't think she understood what divorce was or why they were getting a divorce, and I think maybe with her mum being away, so and I'm not making excuses for demons. I'm just saying with her mum being away for so long and
reached out,
constantly moving around the country, I think she wanted some attention. and this is why I have always said that I would never use a Ouija board, and I never have up to this point. I don't think I ever would. But I think that once you open that door,
Hard to go back.
you you don't know what's waiting for you on the other side.
Well, it's
It
good,
could
bad, or indifferent.
exactly. I mean, it could sit there and say it's your great auntie Ethel, but it's a bit like dodgy old men on the internet still living in their parents' basement,
Yes,
saying that
I'm that person, obviously.
yeah, saying that they're 16-year-old boys when actually they're very much not. And I think it's a bit like that. I think that
Why would
demons are the
I?
kings of catfishing.
Yeah, catfished by a demon.
Oh God, that's got to be a headline somewhere in the Weekly World News. National Enquirer, catfished by demon.
Catfished by a demon. There's one of our clips for on Instagram.
Yeah,
What's the new quote for The Exorcist? She got catfished by a demon.
catfished by a demon.
Oh my God. Poor Reagan. But she did really. That is pretty much. Oh, there she is. God, that actually gave me a scare. She appeared so well. Papa Alpharitus thinks she's very pretty, though, for a demon. And that he thinks all 12-year-old children should be well looked after, not be possessed by demons. Is he
Sorry,
after
Papa
Pazuzu?
Alberta.
He's after Pazuzu.
Buddy got there first.
Then the next scene's Reagan going to bed, and she's got magazines with her mum on the front. She's like, "Why have you got these? Oh, I like them, mum." She's like, "It's not even a good picture of me."
Not even a good picture.
Good picture of me. And as Reagan's going to bed, they discuss her birthday and what she wants to do for her birthday and what they want to go and do and like have just a quiet day out, visit some places, have something to eat. It always sounds quite a pleasant way to spend the birthday. Um, and then she was like, "Oh, is Mr. Denning's gonna come with you, Mum? Because he likes you." And and then I was like, "What? No, he's a friend, but no."
I don't think I mean I think it's kind of insinuated in the book that maybe Chris doesn't know whether Burke Dennings likes women.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's a lot more insinuation going on in the book. There's a whole plot line in the book that isn't in the film, which I think they were wise to get rid of because it doesn't really
Fit.
yeah, it just throws Kinderman off a bit, really. But that's yeah, it's an interest. The subplot is that when they're trying to investigate, when he's trying to investigate Dennings later on what happened to Dennings, there's something going on with groundskeeper Willie, which is I'm absolutely sure where the Simpsons got it from.
Must, must be. Groundskeeper Willie.
Willie, and obviously the the groundskeeper and the housekeeper are a married couple. And in the book, she believes that their daughter passed away. She's
Oh,
under the impression that their daughter passed away. Adult daughter passed away as an adult. But the husband knows that she is still alive and goes to give her money and obviously is hiding it from. Oh no, she's Willie, he's Carl. So he's hiding it from her
oh yeah.
because the daughter is an addict. And so he's going to give. So when he's giving like odd, he'll tell the wife one thing and say, "Oh yes, I got on the such and such a bus and got off at such and such a time." And it's all very sort of detailed in the book, but actually what he's doing is he's going to visit their daughter and he keeps trying to get her into a program, but she's not having any of it. That's the subplot.
What year? When was the book written?
One moment, and I will
Find out. How old's the book? That's quite, shows you that nothing's new.
Brief note by William Peter Blatty about this final and definitive edition of The Exorcist. In January 1968,
There you go.
I rented a cabin in Lake Tahoe to start writing a novel about demonic possession that I'd been thinking about for more than 20 years. So it was
It actually went pretty quick from being a book to being a movie.
I think it came out in 1970.
Bit like Jaws. Jaws was quick book to movie, wasn't it?
First published in the United States in 1971.
Wow. And by 73 it was a film.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
And this is my 50th anniversary edition,
Really?
which is actually 40th anniversary edition with a different fucking cover on it, as I've discovered. I have the 40th anniversary edition on my Kindle.
This is your celebratory one. It's just in a different box. It's the same thing. It's just in a different box.
It's like, what is the difference between Quality Street in May and Quality Street in December? They put them in a fucking tin in December.
It's paper now. You can open it up. Anyway, that's beside the point. Anyway, so the next thing we see is Father Karras in the pub with Father Tom, speaking about Father Karras's mum and the fact he wants reassignment. He's like pulled that he's been moved so far away from her, and he just wants out of this job. And like the big statement is he thinks he's losing his faith.
Lost his faith.
He thinks he's lost his faith and he's not very happy. Then the next scene is a very, very angry Mrs. McNeil, very cross, trying to get hold of ex-husband, who hasn't even rung to say happy birthday to Reagan, and is on hold to the operator. And it's like, I've given you the number 3 times. He's there.
I believe this is what is known as going full Karen.
Yeah, she did. She gave it full well. And what she doesn't realise, the time is around the corner. Reagan's listening to all of this and hearing it all happen and all of that. Then she gets woken. So next again, she's Mrs. McNeil's gone to bed and she's woken up by a phone call, and it's like calling her to say it's time to go and shoot the next scene. And she'll say, like, what bit are we filming? It's all like that, that whole her captain coming.
Too bright. It's too bright. Oh.
And then she turns around and she finds Reagan's in her bed. And she's like, what are you doing in here? And Reagan said, my bed was shaking and I couldn't sleep. She's just like, okay. And just, but you don't think anything of it. She's thinking, it's just, she's had a dream, that whole thing where you think you're falling, something like that. She's not really giving it too much thought. But she puts her dressing gown on. She hears noises in the attic. And she's been led to believe it's like mice or rats or something. And so she goes up there again. Lovely attic, very well laid out, boarded, can stand up completely in there. She's got a lit candle. I do remember this bit. You jump at this bit.
This is right. Not being funny, people. This is what, 1972 they were filming this. Were torches not an invention at this point? So they go up there with a giant candle that looks like you've whipped it out of a Victorian chandelier. No, woman. Flashlight. Dickhead. If you'd had a flashlight, the thing that scares the shit out of me every time I watch it wouldn't have scared the shit out of me.
Oh, because I don't think I flinched, did I? You were next to me and I was just like, you're right.
In my head, I'm going, there's a jump scare coming. There's a jump scare coming. It's about the only jump scare in the film. There's a jump scare.
And I was like, basically the flame gets really big and then goes out. And then she gets scared. Who is it? Who's there? Carl. I think it's Carl. Yeah. Startled by Carl.
See, madam, no rats.
No rats. But yes, so there was the noises and then the big flame and then everything about. And then the next thing is a scene with another priest who's just going about his business, goes into the church and the statue of Mary has been desecrated. Basically, she looks like Madonna, to be honest. It's Madonna with the cone, cone boobs going on.
She looked like an extra from the Vogue video.
Yeah,
There's
sure.
definitely some mechanical boobies going on there. And I do believe she also has rather large phallus attached to her.
It's all in black and red,
Yes.
and yeah, just
And
it's
the
not
priest is terribly shocked and drops his bouquets of flowers.
like that. What's that? I think that was his one scene. That's that one where you're going, right, we got to watch this movie. There I am. That was me. Did you see it?
Yeah, but yeah, we can leave the theatre now. All done.
Um, and so we have that very quick scene. Again, if you'd looked away, you'd have bloody missed it. Because the next minute,
Mhm.
with Father Karras, and his mum's been taken into a psychiatric hospital, and she's angry because she's angry and disturbed. Um, so they go in there, and try and see her, and she's Dimmy, why have you done this to me? Then
Timmy, why you do this to me, Timmy?
and it's like he's not the poor bloke. He's like trying to do his best, and it's just like he is so stressed beyond all reason. I don't think in the entire film that poor man cracks a smile. Like he just is like drained the whole time. I don't think he ever smiles.
I don't think he does.
He either is very neutral or just very haggard and
Yeah.
I mean, I think even Father Merrin does actually smile at one point. But even him, actually, to think. It starts off, there's a few smiles. By midway through, there is not so much smiling going on because we're very confused. And so, yes, he's like, I'm trying to get you home, Mum, and all the rest of it. And then you see him in he's in his grey tracksuit doing his boxing. Rocky.
Da,
Came
da,
out
da,
later.
da.
We're not there yet, where he's the grey tracksuit on, right? He then puts
Oh,
his neck and goes full on Rocky. Well, Rocky goes full on Father Karras, actually.
yeah, Rocky goes Karis, not the other way
And
around.
then Rocky came out afterwards. But it was, I watched it with you and I was like, it's like Rocky in there. What's going what?
Going
Uh,
on.
then the next scene is now a party at Chris's house, at the McNeil house. Um, As this, you're told that Father Karras went back home. Oh, and so you see the party, and then the next minute you're with this is where you're told Father Karras went back home. Father Karras's mother had gone back home and died. So
Yeah,
like she suddenly go, God, how much time passed? Because suddenly she's not in the hospital, she's gone back home, and then she was found dead, and she
yeah.
wasn't discovered for several days. That he's having a hard time because he thinks he should have visited her and all the rest of it. I've written there the timeline goes quickly in this film.
Yeah, and yeah,
So they're having that conversation that he's not in the best mental place at the moment because so he's not liking his job. He's now sad because he missed his mum and she died and he wasn't there for her. And he's a psychiatrist, isn't he? He's actually
yeah.
a yeah
Damien is a psychiatrist. Yeah,
psychiatric doctor.
yeah,
Um, trained through. Didn't the is it? I think it suggested that he was trained through the priesthood to become this.
yeah, yeah,
The next minute we see is most people have gone home. The party's ending, and only the main friends are left, and they're all around the piano. I think is it Father Dyer on the keys. They're all singing and having a nice time. And while most have gone home, Reagan comes down from being in bed, and one of the guests is an astronaut,
he is an astronaut about to go on a mission to the moon.
and she very creepily looks at him, deadpan. You're going to die up there.
And then she has a wee on the carpet.
And then she whittles on the carpet. And Chris is like so apologetic. She's not well. There's something not right. I'll get her back to because earlier in the you had seen a glimpse of Reagan at the party, and she was having a good time, and been involved in it all. And obviously,
Yeah,
so her mum has her in the bath. She's like washing her off. She's like, "Why did you do that?" And Reagan says nothing. Like she's just frightened looking. So her mum's cleaning her off and all the rest. Reagan, what's wrong? Oh yeah, also what's wrong with her? Um, and then she's talking to her, and it shows Chris. Actually, my computer obviously corrected what I'd written, and it says it shows Christ. It's like what? Shows Chris had been to the doctor with her already because I said, "Oh, it's your nerves. You need to be taking your medication. You know,
Yeah.
it's your nerves." Huh, women being fobbed off with it being their nerves. Oh,
No,
nothing changes, does it? Um,
no.
so puts her back to bed and leaves her there, and then gets called back with Reagan screaming like, and she goes running back upstairs to find the bed shaking.
Yeah.
This is not the bit where she gets whipped around because we'll come to that in a bit. The bit with the health and or the lack thereof health and safety. And then the next scene is Father Dyer visiting Father Karras, who has been drinking rather a lot of whiskey,
Just a tad.
a
Yeah.
lot of whiskey, I think, or something along those lines, some hard liquor. Is that when they have a discussion about thieving being a sin? Didn't he take it from somewhere to help? He
I
can help.
I've literally got to that page in the script.
Oh,
Kara says, "Where'd you get the money for the Chavaz Regal, Joe? The poor box? Don't be an arsehole. That would be breaking my vow of poverty. So where did you get it then?" "I stole it." "Yeah, I believe you. College presidents shouldn't drink. It tends to set a bad example. I figured I relieved him of a terrible temptation."
there you go. Thank you. The fact I can remember that little bit, like that whole visit conversation, and he puts him to bed, and there's a really nice dynamic between the two of them. They are obviously really, really close friends. And actually, I think it's quite nice because he actually, or do we think they might be even more than just close friends? Potentially.
I think Dyer might be queer coded.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's rather flamboyant with the old piano there.
Yes,
And
he
when he was saying his idea of heaven is him playing piano in some
is.
grand speakeasy or whatever it was.
With everyone watching him.
But I do think they do have a very close friendship. There's that the brilliant bit in that scene in a just in like a few lines time when he takes his Karras' shoes off and he says he says "Are you going to steal my shoes now?" And he says, "No, I tell fortunes by reading the creases. Now go back to sleep." Which I think is just
the banter that you would have with a good friend.
yeah, yeah.
Fortunes by reading the creases.
And Harris calls him a Jesuit cat burglar, which is just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
He holds his hand. I think for something that's in 1973 is quite nice. Like again, like you see that side of things. So, you know. And this is when the bit that links with Ghost comes in, because Father Karras dreams of his mother and can't hear
Yeah.
to her, and that's the one that was used in the promotions for Right Here, Right Now.
Wow.
Which, I saw it. I was like, oh, yes, I see now. Ah, I understand. I have been brought into the understanding. I have the knowledge now. I see where the links come in. And I think in the promo they did use the actual shot from The Exorcist, didn't they? And she's like green screened over it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not, it's like, so I was like, oh, there's our little bit from The Exorcist. The mum son relationship can't get to her. Yeah,
Thanks, Toad.
she dies and all the rest of it, and he wasn't there as she did because he was in his hot air balloon.
And I do believe I actually said when that trailer came out, I said, number one, did anybody pick up on the Exorcist reference? Number two, oh my God, his mother dies in The Exorcist. No!
It's like, and then you mentioned, which we were talking a bit about the whole sacrificing yourself for something else. So I'm still kind of scared to be as good. Still, at time of filming, there's a board.
Have we checked in on Las Vegas in the last couple of minutes?
By the time you're seeing this, by the time I post this, music could have dropped. We might know more.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely.
Then
But
again, that process really quickly, in which case we're still waiting and watching the board in Vegas.
oh, it was quite interesting today actually watching the sun come up over Las Vegas though. That was quite fun.
I found out about this very early because my dog decided at like 4:30 this morning that he would yell at the foxes in the garden and need a wee. So stupidly, I don't know. Normally, I don't pick my phone up for that, but I think I was checking my alarms, and then I clicked onto my Instagram, And I'm like, why at 5:45 a.m. UK time are Ghost posting?
We are still watching the billboard, people.
And now that is a live stream. How many are watching it in the minute? 2.8K is that? Um,
2.8K I'm showing.
this morning it did get up to about 6.6. Because obviously the various time zones. But literally a post at 5:45 a.m.
I can't show that on the screen for too long because we'll probably get struck for copyright on it. So I'm gonna take that away, but just I'll keep my eye on it.
Just showing what's going on. And then the post from Ghost says, just a little bit of just a tangent for you at the moment, people. Message from the clergy. We wish to inform you what happens in Vegas stays on the Fumata cast. Fumata meaning smoke. Let us live in the anticipation of what could be. No, just release it.
No, just tell us what's going on, for God's sakes.
I'm tired. Don't make
Tired.
how old most of us are. Oh God.
I'm going to cope tomorrow when I have to go to work and I'm not going to be able to check this every 10 minutes.
I don't know. And obviously it links from the Fumata Bianco, which is when the conclave are picking the new pope, and Fumata Blanco Bianco blah, 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 blah. I can't even say the words now. Just means white smoke. All right. Just means white smoke. And then there's obviously black smoke as well. So depending. But knowing Tobes, it'd probably be purple smoke just to, really get the
Why the fall up?
just to wind up the Terzo theorists that he's going to be resurrected. And then he could be a more evil papa because he's a little bit pissed off for being dead and beheaded. He might be a bit miffed. Could be. You don't know.
You'd be miffed if you were beheaded, wouldn't you?
Oh, I'd be a bit annoyed. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Especially blood
actually, would we? We'd be dead.
But then if you brought back, just, bitches and all. Anyway, back to the Exorcist.
Anyway, moving on. Back to the Exorcist. Where were we?
So we've just had the
Hey,
dream.
on the carpet.
In the dream, there's a falling necklace while he's trying to get to his mum, and there's that whole bit, and she's saying something to him, and he can't hear, and he can't get to her, and then you get the first flash of Pazuzu,
Pazuzu.
Pazuzu, and I got told off because I said it sounds like some sort of sauce, but that's because I'm thinking of Uzu.
Not the first flash of the demon face.
Oh, was it the first flash, the one in the oven? Where is that? When is that? I was looking.
The first flash is in the attic with the candle.
Oh, I was looking. I didn't see anything.
It's there apparently.
I will stare harder. Okay, the first really obvious.
The first obvious.
The one that
flash.
I actually noticed. And it's
Yes.
really stupid because I know it's meant to be scary, but it's cute.
That was actually a makeup test.
Oh, was it?
That was one of Linda Blair's makeup tests, although not on Linda Blair.
Is that on Eileen?
That's Eileen Dietz. Yeah. Yeah, it was one of Dick Smith's makeup tests.
I love it. It's really. I know it shouldn't. I'm sorry, it's terrifying. I was really scared. Is that better? Am I good?
Yeah. But then it's become iconic, and you kind of see that everywhere,
Yes.
which is very cool.
And as the necklace lands, we come to a scene of Reagan screaming in hospital. She swears and spits at the doctor. She is different. And you're starting to feel it now. You're starting to see it. The changes that are happening in her.
This is where she calls him a fucking bastard.
Yeah, which I can kind of understand because what they're about to do to her is absolutely horrendous. But wow. And then there's a quick side scene of Karis presiding over Mass. Again, looking absolutely downcast and trodden and just...
That's because that was the Mass for his mother.
But he just looks like that anyway.
Because she died.
Yeah. And then the doctor says the issue is, this is the bit that gets me, is doctor's dismissing what the mum's saying. Anyway, the doctor says the issue is Reagan's brain and doesn't, believe her about the bed. Problem isn't with Reagan's bed. It is her brain.
Her brain.
And then she says how Reagan's whole personality has changed, how she's just not who she was, and different, and then they talk about a lesion on the temporal lobe or something like that along those lines. And they're preparing her for, well, it's not surgery, is it? It's types of X-ray. MRI, is it the original sort of?
I think it's either an MRI or a PET scan or something, but it's
She's awake, and they inject stuff through her neck. And the noise of it is just horrible. The banging, it's that
mm,
banging sound, and it's so loud. And I love how they just, and for all her swearing and changed personality, when they tell her to hold still, she bloody well does.
yeah, she does.
She's 12, and and I think her acting is really good because you really genuinely think that hurts. Um,
Well, I mean, you can see why Linda Blair got an Oscar nomination for this.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And Mrs. McNeil is watching on, and she just looks haggard, is the only word I had for that one. Then when they put, because obviously I think it must be a dye to try and show contrasts in the brain when they're doing this scan. And then they're looking at the scan, and there's nothing there. There is no lesion. They assumed there was going to be one, and there's not. And they're like, well, we could do it again. And they're like, no, don't want to. Like, it's awful. And while she's at the hospital, Chris calls the hospital. Things have got worse for Reagan. The doctors get to the house, and Reagan. This is the bit. This is the bit where you can explain the lack of health and safety.
Health and safety? What's health and safety on this set?
Come into the room, and literally Reagan is whipping backwards and forwards. Do you want to explain how that was brought about and how she sustained a life injury?
So she was. They took a cast of her
Torso.
torso, and they created a rig which was sort of leather in the front so that it wouldn't disrupt the costume. But there was a plate in the back, laced up on the sides with quite tough strings, and
Yeah.
the plate was attached to wiring that some rather big stunt guys could pull these cords, and she would go backwards. So they would pull it, she would hit the bed, they would let it go, she could move herself forward. The problem was something went wrong, I believe, with one of the lacings, and the plate moved. So as she is coming backwards, the
Yep.
plate is going forwards and it's smacking against her back. She actually fractured her back during that scene. So she's crying. I think she was saying the line is, "Mother, it hurts, make it stop. It burns, it hurts, make it stop." She started screaming, "It really hurts. It really, really." And somebody thought that she said Billy, which was the name of the director, William Billy Friedkin. And Linda Blair says, "I didn't." She said, "I was in the most pain I'd ever been in my life, and I never broke character."
No, she didn't.
But that was the scene that you see on screen, is the scene where she is they are literally breaking her back in that scene. And that is not the only scene in the film where you see real life pain and real life injury on an actor's face in that film.
Yeah. Yeah.
Health and safety, what the fuck?
12-year-old. Let's do that to a 12-year-old.
Do that to a 12-year-old.
But thrash her around, see what happens.
Yeah.
Best, not best, but I mean, it's a brilliant scene, and but it's the fact the doctors still try and like say it's psychological. It's like
They're just standing there looking at her going,
um,
huh?
hmm. So change in voice, screams fuck me, wants them to leave her alone. And they sedate her. They manage to get hold of her and sedate her. But at this point, this is why I written, they're so condescending to Mrs. McNeil. Like, she's the
The
one
bit
living.
that gets me is when her throat expands and you see that massive lump in her throat and she's oh no, I'm just
And as they are men, and she is just a woman, they suggest more invasive scans. They're going to be painful to Reagan, and they show nothing.
Mm.
Um, and they're just so condescending to her. Like, no, we need to get a therapist in. You just need her to talk to someone. It's, it's inner pain masquerading as X, Y, and Z. Then in the next scene, you've got harrowing music as Mrs. McNeil is driving home. I'm not sure where she's driving home from. I didn't make a note of why.
No, I didn't.
I don't know. And she passes the police in an ambulance. She arrives home to the phone ringing, and it seems like the house is empty. The lights are flickering. She runs upstairs to Reagan's room where she's fast asleep, but the window's wide open and it's really cold in there. You can see their breath. Chris closes the window, puts a blanket over Reagan, and then she comes downstairs and she's really angry at who's her PA?
Sharon.
Yeah, saying, why is she on her own? Why has she been left? And it was like, no, Burke was here with her. But there was nobody there. Burke's not around. And then Chuck arrives and announces that Burke is dead.
Dun, dun, dun.
He fell down the big, long, steep set of stairs. And that's the police and ambulance you saw when Chris was driving home. But he was meant to have been with Reagan. And this is where I went, did the possessive demon actually save her from Burke? That's like, because he should have been in the house. So why was that window open? Why was he down the stairs that are just like outside that window? And it's like,
You're not the first person to posit the thought that maybe.
I mean, it wasn't saving Reagan, it was saving itself, but inadvertently.
Yeah, you're not the first person to posit that potentially the film is an allegory for sexual assault.
Possibly, yeah. That's what I was thinking earlier. Like again, I think we said it with The Omen as well. Is it just people's descent into psychosis? Is this a representation of something rather than an actual possession? But I don't know with
this. And I will say that Paige Wesley on the Exorcist Revisited episode of The Horror Virgin brings up some really interesting points about that. So if you get a chance to go and listen to them talk about The Exorcist, highly recommend. As you know, I am also a fan of The Horror Virgin. Please go and listen to them too. But yeah, she brings up some really interesting points, and she's got some fantastic references as well to back it up about how they do believe that it's an allegory for sexual assault. Because why would he be going up to her room in the first place?
Yeah, if she's sleeping and ill and not
and on the amount of tranquilizers that she's supposed to be on, he should have no reason to go into her room unless the reason was nefarious.
Yeah. In which case, I think Pazuzu got rid of him.
Yes. Well, we know that that's what happened. We know that it is, it comes out, in a couple of scenes as to how Burke was found. Yeah. And then what Kinderman finds at the bottom of the stairs.
Yeah, exactly. And at this point now, Reagan is very pale. She's very dark under her eyes. And there's a psychiatrist speaking to her. She's in the chair. Psychiatrist speaks and is like, I'm speaking to the person inside of Reagan. Again, so condescending because a bunch of blokes. And a picture falls off the wall. Is it off the wall or off the... Yeah, that one's off the wall, I think. And Reagan properly growling and looks different suddenly. That's, where you get the demon face going on, sharper teeth. And then attacks the psychiatrist. Please explain what it says. Does it say in the script of how Reagan attacks the psychiatrist? Or what she does to him?
Psychiatrist, Mark, help me! In the darkness, we see his mouth agape in horrible pain, his eyes wide staring. What has happened is that Reagan has gripped his scrotum in a hand that is squeezing like an iron talon. She has quite literally got this man by the bollocks.
And yeah, and has more strength than what a 12-year-old should
Oh, absolutely.
have. So that's the
Did
last
you notice? Did you
him.
notice when that turn happened, when it went from being Reagan to demon? Did you notice they all took a step back because it smelled?
Oh,
There was a smell,
there you go.
and I think even Chris went, "Oh,
Smell of, smell of horror.
the
So
smell of horror."
that's the last time we see him. Anyway, next you see father training. Well, as Rocky then does. I say like Rocky, but it's not like Rocky because Rocky came out afterwards. But he's in his grey tracksuit, and then he puts a towel around his neck. Um, and is this where they have the conversation? Is it because police detective? So this is Kinderman comes up and says, "Oh, has anyone told you look like John Garfield?" And he's like, "No, has anyone ever told you look like Paul Newman?" You know, so having a random conversation. Because he's come to see Father Karras to discuss Burke's death and also the desecration at the church and sort of feeling that things are linked. Kinderman is seeing links. We quite like him. I like Kinderman.
I
Um,
like Kinderman. I like Kinderman a lot. He and if you get a chance to watch The Exorcist 3, Kinderman's the main character in that, and he's yeah.
he's good. He's good
Yeah,
people.
really good. Yeah.
Um, and like he's then speaks to Harrison's like, right, this is between you and me, off the books. But when we found Burke at the bottom of those stairs, his head was completely turned around 180. It was facing backwards, you know. So he was talking to him about witchcraft and type of murder, the murderer and the desecrator being the same person. Like, is the person who's done this, you know, the same person? And I think, isn't it, Karras is quite resistant to this initially, this line of thinking.
He's very much dismissive of the fact that he doesn't think that a black mass could be a thing,
Yeah,
even though he did admit to writing a paper on it from the psychiatric point of view.
because he's like he thinks a lot of these things in him, like himself now, is that they're not really possessions and stuff. It's psychiatric issues
Yeah.
and mental health needs. So they finish their conversation. Next minute, we're with Reagan in hospital again. Now she's got scratches on her face. She's being restrained. And Chris is arguing with the doctors. In so many, this is what I've written in here, is in so many of these sorts of films, you wish the characters would ask for help. In this film, she doesn't stop asking for help, and nobody listens to what
Yeah.
she's. Oh my God, my heart goes out to her. Like, I'm like, you just want to grab them, go, would you just listen to what she's telling you?
Yeah.
She's making it up. These things are happening to her. She's actually reached out to the people she should reach out to, and they don't know what to do. They haven't got a fucking clue. They don't have a clue. And
She's very forthright about saying, this is not my child.
yeah,
There's a part later on where she's talking to Karras and she said, you could put Reagan's double in front of me. They would be completely identical. They would look the same. They would smell the same. They would sound the same. I would know it isn't Reagan. I would know that isn't my child.
yeah.
And I think any mother who is as close to their children as Chris is to Reagan, I'd like to think that I have the same with my kid, and you probably do with yours. We know our children. We
Yep.
know who they are at the heart of them. And I don't think this is something that mothers, especially mothers, get enough credit for.
Oh, absolutely. The innate sense, like when Alyssa was little, my eldest, she's coming up 16 this year, but she suffered a lot of chest infections
Yeah.
when she was getting her teeth. Though I was told constantly it wasn't related. And I always always knew when it had gone to her chest, without a doubt. And I would hold off because I didn't want to go to the doctors again. I didn't want her on antibiotics if I could help it.
Yeah.
One of the ones that really brought it home to me was we went on a Sunday. We went at the out of hours, like Keith in his football kit, ready off to go to a game. I said, no, she needs to be seen. She is not well.
Mm-hmm.
But we went into the doctor. She was about two and a half. It was just before I had Jacob. So about 6 weeks before I gave birth to Jacob. So I'm a bit tired as it is. And but she had had so many, this kid, she just lived with it. Like during the day, she could carry on. And it was at night time that I could hear it. And we went in.
Yeah.
We had an out of hours doctor that obviously didn't want to be there. He was not in the best moods. And he looked at her and she's fine. Well, she's just playing. She's playing. Why have you done this? No, I went, because she's not well. She's not well. Please, just like, she's got a chest infection. No, 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 no. He didn't even, the stethoscope didn't even touch her chest. And he went, yes, she has. I was like, yeah, I told you. Because I know my kid and I know the particular sounds she'd make when she was ill. We also got dismissed when she was a tiny baby. I was so glad Keith was with me to hear this doctor, and I actually wrote a letter because I'm not one of those to stir up trouble. But I'm like, I get it. That doctor had had a long day, didn't want to be there at 6 o'clock in the evening. But this is my child we're talking about. And I
Mm-hmm.
was bloody right. She wasn't well. Like, but if I had been on my own, or didn't have the support of other people, I could have then not taken her back, and like the consequences could have been disastrous because
Yeah.
you're looked at as being what's it called, a hypochondriac, that you're neurotic. That's it. You're a
Or you have Munchausen's.
yeah, Munchausen. Yeah, you're a neurotic mother, or you're there for your own, attention. Oh dear God, the amount of times we visited that. But you're going, I don't want to be here. I have other things to do. I particularly want to be in the doctor's surgery again.
Again.
And every
Like
time
the time that Dipstick over there managed to get a piece of apple wedged up his nose.
Jacob
And
got
when I
his finger.
and when I say wedged, I mean it was like right up here. Up there, right? We ended up at the hospital. They had scopes up his nose. They were like, well, taking an X-ray is not going to do anything because it's biological material and it won't show up. And I'm like, they're like, are you sure there's something up there? And I'm like, I am telling you, something up his nose.
Yeah.
I guarantee it. So we sat there and they've got scopes up there and probes up there and they can't get anything out, blah, blah, blah. And they said, well, I couldn't believe they said this to me. Well, it's biological material. It will eventually rot and just drop out.
Mostly rotting food inside their child. Isn't that just asking for trouble?
I'm sorry, what?
No.
No, get it out. I said, oh no, it'll be fine. It's biological material. It's an apple. It will rot and it will just. And then he did the best thing possible. So after being told, number one, no, there's nothing there. Number two, if there is something there, it will rot out.
Fall out.
What did he do? What did he do? He sneezed.
And it flew out.
It shot out like a cannonball and smacked this doctor clean in the face. Literally had his head back on my shoulder like that. I went, yes. Yes.
Thank you.
I'm like, there's nothing there.
What hit you in the face then? It was nothing. It's ghost. It's ghosts. That's what.
Do we want to
Rephrase that now? Yeah, exactly. So yes.
particularly gelatinous snot, was it? I don't think so.
So the fun and games that are having kids and people not believing you and you're going, no, they're really quite poorly. Actually, again, my sister-in-law, my niece, was really ill. And I mean, like, if Tracy hadn't done what she did, Jodie wouldn't be here ill Like it was terrifying. And they'd taken her to the doctors, and then the doctor sent them for an x-ray, and the hospital decided not to do it. Even the doctor had said, no, this needs to be done. They went back and they came back, and then Tracy's like, no, this isn't right. And then they had to blue light her from Brighton to the Evelina.
It's frightening, isn't it? How many times, not just in medical situations, not just with our children, how many times a day do we have to fight to be believed?
Yeah. To say that I genuinely think there's an issue. I mean, not as dramatic as like death, but I had to fight for my ADHD. Well, why do you need to know this? Well, you don't have that. You've got anxiety. You've got this. You've got that. You've got everything else under the sun.
I had to fight for my endo and my fibroids and everything else to be
Oh,
diagnosed.
yeah.
I was told for years, no, it's just it's a heavy menstrual cycle. It's women's problems.
Women's
No,
problem.
it's not. It's a healthcare problem.
Yeah.
It is a it's not even just that, it is a misogyny problem.
Mm-hmm.
We are women, therefore we are not listened to. And when we are being listened to,
It's
we are not being
condescendingly.
believed.
It's
Do
always,
better, people.
it's always like, there. You're not in that.
Oh,
Oh, I think
mm,
my family would agree. If I actually mention I have pain, that would be most people not doing anything. Do you know what I mean? I'm supposed to be dragging myself and going, it's a bit uncomfortable. Yeah, that was the same with my mum. And this is why she ended up having her hip surgery so late. She lived with the pain
yeah.
instead of getting it seen to. So anyway, back to the film. But yes, women not being listened to, and she, oh bless her, her character's amazing. She gets so angry with them. She gets so angry. She's like, "You're not listening. You are not taking in. That is not my child. It's not this. It's not that. What can you do?" And it's them that start then asking about religion and if they have religious beliefs, and does Reagan have religious beliefs, and that they actually think the best form of action for Reagan is an exorcism.
But they posit it as a placebo.
Yeah, that
Because
yes, that's it. They're like, if she has these ideas that they come in and they do this, then she will feel better because this thing's happened, and she'll, it's not real, but it might have the intended outcome.
yeah, and Chris is like, so basically what you want me to do is take my child to a fucking witch doctor.
Yeah, basically, because you've run out of ideas, you don't know what to
Yeah.
do. Yeah, brilliant. Thanks, for that guys. Thanks very much.
Amazing.
She goes home. She's just exhausted. She goes up to Reagan's room to check on her. Reagan is not looking great, to say the least, and she finds a crucifix under Reagan's pillow. Do we ever find out how it got there? Because she goes around asking who put it there, who put it there, who put it there, who put it there. Did you put that there? They're like, no, it
No.
wasn't. Yeah, Chris asks Carl if he put the crucifix in Reagan's room. He's like, no, I didn't. And she, you can see everything is getting to her now, like, which completely understandable. She's probably not been sleeping. She's probably still trying to, do work. The director from a movie's dead. There's a lot going on. They've got arsehole doctors who are not listening to a word she says. It's a whole thing. And then Detective Kinderman comes to visit Chris, wondering, and this is where he asked if speaks to her and says, "I wonder if Mr. Dennings was in Reagan's room that night, the night he died," and questioning it. She's like, "Well, why would he be? Why would he be?" And this is the potential, but what he's putting across is that Reagan pushed him out the window. She's like,
Yeah.
Reagan dated and not moving and not doing that. But he's like, but this is the only way that his
It's
death,
possible.
he fell out that window and went down those stairs. Um, but But he's pretty good. And then he goes downstairs and asks her for an autograph for his daughter.
Daughter.
She then goes, "What's your daughter's name?" He didn't think that far ahead.
Just make it up to me, it'll be fine.
I really like your movies, it's for him. So there's a little bit of levity there. And as the detective leaves, and then we hear screaming. The detective's gone, and hear screaming. Everything is flying around in Reagan's room. There's a demonic voice, and she's using a crucifix for
How can we say this? That
self-stimulation.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how we put this without YouTube
Oh,
slapping our wrists for it.
but what is usually referred to as self-pleasure, but in this case is not, because it's very stabby and there's a lot of blood.
Well, um, in the book and in the original script,
Not blood.
no, there was blood, but she
Pleasured?
reached completion, put it that way.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I'm glad they didn't do that in the film with the 12-year-old. I mean, even if it was Eileen Dietz, the character is meant to be of a particular age.
Oh no, that wasn't Eileen. That was Linda Blair in that scene.
Yes, it was
Yes.
Linda, wasn't it?
Because she said that they had her lay on her back. There was a box in between her legs that was like filled with foam and red food coloring. And
Yeah.
she literally just had to bring the cross down between her legs and stab it into the box. And that was the direction that she was given.
Yeah, so she didn't actually know
No,
specifically what it was that it was
meant
doing.
to be representing. No.
Yeah.
The scene afterwards was Eileen Dietz.
Yeah. Yes. Where the furniture starts flying and
Yeah.
what she did, your daughter. Beep beep, daughter. I'm
Do
not
you
saying
know what she did? Can I say it?
no because YouTube. I do not want our wrist slapped.
She says a word
See you next
that,
Tuesday.
yeah, that rhymes with runting.
Daughter.
Yes.
And to me, I think
In Denning's voice.
this is the most traumatic scene in the whole film. This is raw and painful. And is this where she gets injured? Is this where the
This
mum
is where this is where yes.
second injury of the film occurs? There's a bit where the mum Chris gets pushed back by her daughter, and she falls to the floor, and the furniture starts to move towards her. But where she falls back, she smacks her back, doesn't she?
Again, she was in a rig, stunt guys behind her. And they had so you had Eileen Dietz on the bed to do the backhanded slap, which is what is going to send Chris McNeil across the room. And it sends her across the room. And at this point, stunt guys pull her back. They do a take. It was a very good take. And she says to the director, she says, "They're pulling me too hard. They're going to hurt me." And he's like, "Well, okay, I understand," and blah, blah, but, we have to try and get the scene. And she goes, "They are pulling me too hard. They are going to hurt me." Right? So he says, okay. She goes off to reset the scene. He turns round to the stunt guy and he looks at her and he looks at this stunt guy and he says, "Let her have it." And he said, "Are you sure? This is Ellen Burstyn. She's a very nice lady. Are you sure about this?" And he's like, "Let her have it." He said, "Okay, well, he's the boss, so, you kind of got to do what the boss says to do. So, we reset the scene, we do the scene again, go for the backhand." He says, and I yanked. He said, I hauled back. He said, I really let her have it. lifted her off the ground.
Yeah.
Like she came off her feet and she said, and that scene where you see me land, she says, you'll watch the camera gets tipped down. They tip the camera down to see my reaction. And my hand, she says, immediately goes to my back.
Yep.
And another one with a cracked spine.
Ouch.
Broke two backs. Two backs.
Two broken
Two.
back. And it was like she just have stuff done afterwards, didn't she? And stuff with it.
Yeah, one demon, two broken backs.
Yeah. Isn't there some other stories with regards to the Exorcist films? And
they believe that the film was. I'll tell you what. I'll go through it at the end. I'll tell you all the fun stuff at the end.
okay, if we remember. So,
I will.
dramatic scene, and this is where Chris meets with Father Karras and speaks to him about getting an exorcism. She meets him. She's got massive sunglasses on and is really wrapped up. He's like, "Are you cold?" She's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." But you can just see peeking out from that is where her daughter is like, well, the demon Reagan has beaten her up. There's a bruise. And he's like, "I don't think she needs an exorcism. I think it's like, it's in her mind." And this is where she's like, "Jesus Christ, will nobody help me?" Like, poor Chris is at her wit's end. She's been sent from pillar to post. No one truly listening to what's going on. She doesn't want to put her. That was it with the doctor. She didn't want to put her daughter in an asylum, in
In
an
an institution.
institution. And so Karras does come to the house because she takes her glasses off, and he then sees the rest of the injuries, and he's like, "Oh, okay." And at this point now, Reagan is tied to her bed, and everything is covered in stuff to prevent her hurting herself. And she looks pretty awful, to be honest. You can show the dolly for some of the injuries that poor Reagan has. She didn't look very well. It's just not very well. She's got very dark under the eyes, scratches across her. And
Got such a pretty face. That pretty.
it is a pretty. It's actually quite cute. So,
Good news.
breath and demon's voice, and you hear. Can you help an old altar boy, Father? Says it's
Help
not.
an old altar boy, Father.
Yeah, out of Reagan, and says it's not Reagan. She's in here with us. She's in here with us, and throws up pea green soup, or throws up green gunk right in his face.
This is also where he said where the demon asks to loosen the straps, and he says, "Well, if you're the devil, why not just do it yourself?" And she very very polite says, "That's much too vulgar display of power, Karras."
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. And doesn't say she's a demon, but the devil herself. Yeah, I'm not. And he says, "What an excellent day for an exorcism." And she opens the drawer, and he closes it and says, "Do it again." Not now. No, not doing it now. Well, do it again. You can do it. Do it again.
That's my practice. I've exhausted myself.
Then he tells her that he's going to throw, that what he's throwing on her is holy water. And many voices come out of Reagan, and saying it burns. That's where the cutting her leg appears, or that's later on actually, but with the holy water.
Yeah.
And it sounds horrific. The noises and the sounds coming from it sounds like weird language or gibberish. But actually, what it then out is that it's English backwards.
Yeah, but it takes a while to work that out.
Yes, it does. Because he recorded the words, and the name that gets heard is Merrin, fear the priest.
Let us be, let us live, let us stay in the cell. We fear the priest. No, not him, the other one, Merrin.
He then gets another call to go back to the house, and it's Sharon that takes him upstairs. And the room is so cold, and she's like, "I need to show you this." And they lift like Reagan's top, still keeping her covered. And this is where you suddenly see "Help me" start appear outwards. It gets more pronounced the more they look at it. And I think that's what really makes him go, actually, yeah, no, we do need to do an exorcism. We do need to mean the meaning of the film. We're called The Exorcist. I think we need to actually do this. Karen, and I've written, Karis now believes she does need an exorcism. and brings it to the bishop. He actually goes to see the bishop because you have to get permission to do these things. And then says to the bishop that he wants. Is it him that says he wants Merrin to the bishop?
I think the bishop suggests. I think the bishop takes it to someone else, and they suggest Merrin.
Yeah.
But they also make mention of, oh, is he not abroad? No, he's back from the dig.
Yeah,
I think
that's
he's
when
right.
I remember it was called Nineveh. That's where they mentioned it, Nineveh.
Yeah, he's right. He's writing a book. And they I think this is where they make mention of how the last exorcism he did back in Africa nearly killed him.
Yes, which is probably why he's got the shakes and the pills.
Well, he was a much younger man during that exorcism. He was a much younger man that looked an awful lot like Stellan Skarsgård.
Oh, was it? Another Swede.
Yes. So in the prequel movies, it's Merrin in Africa, and Merrin is played by Stellan Skarsgård. Another fucking Swede.
Another Swedish actor.
We
So,
can't escape them, can we?
no, we can't. Arrives at Chris's house. So Merrin arrives at Chris's house, and it's the poster image. Gets out of the car. It's the misty house, and stood outside. They're like an Inspector Calls as well, actually.
Ta-da!
I'm sure that's a very similar image on an Inspector Calls.
It's based on a Magritte.
Say that again.
It's based on a painting by Magritte.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hold on a second. So yes, so he's arrived there. I just want to see images. They're not going to do it for me, are they? I'm sure. Yes, it is like the one on my book. You're not going to be able to see now, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's that whole silhouetted, person come to help mystery house. I suppose it's also a bit like Woman in Black. Oh, that's one. Oh, I wouldn't mind watching that film. I've not seen the film. I've only seen it in the theatre twice. Nearly broke Keith's hand, I think, watching that. That's proper creepy. Do you know what? That's real tangent. In the theatre one, the person who plays the woman in black never gets credited because she doesn't exist.
Are we talking about the Dan Rad film?
Dan Radcliffe did the movie. But yeah, Woman in Black. Oh,
Yeah, all right. Put it on the list.
it's so I haven't seen the film. I don't know whether the film's going to be quite as good, but it's on the theatre show. Like you have a rocking chair that moves on its own, and it's that noise, and it's the noise of a horse and cart and screaming because the kids died in the outside, and it's you're just going, it's really well done, and the fact she is not credited, like because she doesn't exist, she's not real, she's a phantom, she's a ghost. Anyway, so that's
moving quickly on.
Sorry. So they arrive at Chris's house, the poster image, close up of the possessed Reagan's eyes, because she senses him outside. And she screams, Merrin!
Merrin!
The eyes are like demonic. They're yellowy and, not looking good. Then they come in and they very calmly discuss the specifics of the exorcism. I love how they're like in the library bit and they're just literally discussing it like a normal everyday thing, They're explaining the fact that when they do this, the demon will mix truth with lies and attack them psychologically and all the rest of it. And don't listen, and what it's saying is rubbish and all the rest of it. So, they discuss all the things they do. Then they go up to Reagan, and this is why it's an 18, because the language that comes out of the demon's mouth is just not stuff I'll be saying, but that's where your mum joke comes in.
Language, Timothy.
She is sampling body parts in hell. Mm-hmm.
And darning socks as well. Anyway, yes.
And so as they begin the exorcism on Reagan, Reagan screams and the bed shakes and then it floats, there's a whole thing. And I do feel now at this point in the movie, like we discussed before we came on, like how a lot of these films from like the 1970s, they're a very slow burner. So you've got that whole roller coaster of the chug, 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 chug to the top. But then when
Mm.
you hit that point, it's like, boom. It's like so I think like it's a 2 hour and 2 minute movie according to IMDb, whether that's right or not. So it's longish, but it's not over the top. But I do feel like
No,
it's an hour and 15, hour and a half, and then that last half an hour is where it
everything goes mental.
everything gets real. It gets a bit real. So, pea green soup is flying out, so the stuff is flying out of her. Everything is clattering and banging, and then Reagan is, well, the demon Reagan is laughing evilly, and I mean evilly, as proper demonic laughter. Where you go, that's not good. She doesn't seem to, the exorcism doesn't seem to be working. She's like, oh, we're over here, Reagan. Turn a bit, turn a bit, turn a bit. There we go, darling. There we go. Yeah. That would have been funny if you could. They did that. That's on one of the stories on the Lost Boys pizza place. They have a Reagan and it spits stuff out. So you can I think you can get your drink.
I've turned her into a shot dispenser.
Yes, she's a shot dispenser. Anyway, so there you go. Another call out for the Lost Boys pizzeria. Um Merrin coughs. He's not well. He's not well, man. He's not well. And things are falling and breaking and cracking. So you know that, they're obviously onto something here with this exorcism. And that's when her head does the 360 turn. And you go, ooh,
Again.
again.
Do you mind?
Yeah, there she goes. When did she do it the first time?
In the scene with Chris McNeil on the floor after the crucifix scene.
I must have been typing notes. I told you.
Her head just whips. It doesn't turn all the way around, but
Whip.
it whips so that she's looking backwards.
Yes, I vaguely remember that, but I didn't write it down. See, this is why I write notes, people, because otherwise I don't.
As it turns, and you're like,
It is very much, look what I can do. I'm an owl. I can turn my head. I can turn my head all the way around.
I am part owl. And I love how that actually comes back in the Exorcist TV show.
Yeah.
That whole head turning.
The head turning thing. That is
Yes.
the bit there where you go, oh, yeah, I think she's definitely possessed. This is not in her head. So, and the whole room shakes and knocks them off their feet, and the priests fall over, and Reagan begins to float. She comes out of the restraints, and she's floating in the air. I was desperately trying to see if I could see the street, because what was the scene that was cut out? Because he didn't like it, because you could see she spiders down the stairs.
The spider walk down the stairs. So as Sharon and Chris are learning that Burke is dead, the scene directly after it is Reagan coming down the stairs, kind of a crab walk as she comes down the stairs, long tongue.
But they didn't
she
like
goes straight up to Sharon.
the wires.
They put it back in for supposedly a director's cut. It was called the version you've never seen before, and there were little extra bits in there, so there were extra subliminal flashes of the face. But the spider walk was the big draw to that scene. Yeah. I don't think you need it.
No, I don't think you need it. I don't think it's necessary. I think actually, like most of it being confined to her room and the hospital actually makes it more creepy. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. I think if she comes out into the rest of the house, I don't know, it just feels a bit more contrived.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, I mean, obviously the poor person having had done it probably thinks, I'm fine. But, So, when she goes back down on the bed, Karis ties her again, but he ties her hands together in front of her rather than to the bed. And then he turns around and he's tying her legs. And that's when she sits up and she wallops him one and sends him sprawling off the bed. Um, and when I think it's at this point, while Merrin is still doing all the words and all the stuff, you see like the light shine up and the silhouette of the statue from the beginning of the movie. Yeah, that's the one. Um, and so once they do manage to restrain her back to the bed, Merrin leaves the room. You see him take it goes into like the bathroom, and you see him taking his tablets again. And this is where Karis is left alone with Reagan, and this is where she starts her psychological warfare on him, and
Why you do this to me, Timmy?
uses his mother's voice, and you are not my mother. He gets so angry. He's very emotional. I mean, I don't think he was in the best place to start with. This is not helping. So Merrin gets him to leave the room.
Mm.
Oh, because before that, that's where they do the Christ. What is the words? You've got it written. I can't quite remember it. While she's still floating, before he ties her up again, they say it a lot. And I do wonder if
The
it's
power of Christ compels you.
paragraph. I do wonder there though whether they knew how many times they were actually going to say it, or whether they just kept saying it because one of them would start again.
Yeah.
Because you can always see them look at each other. It's like, oh, you're saying it again. I can't do it again. Oh, you're saying, and that's where the holy water hits Reagan's leg and cuts her open, and and then obviously, so he leaves
Look,
the.
isn't Dolly Reagan's got the little cuts?
Oh, bless Dolly Reagan. Poor Dolly Reagan. But Buddy's looking after the little one. He's good with the little ones.
They're friends. They're really good friends.
They're really good friends. Yeah, he takes care of her because she didn't mean it. She didn't mean it.
No,
So, though I must say, I looked away, and because Merrin is back in the room on his own, I missed how he died. I knew he died.
you don't see how he dies.
Good. I didn't miss anything. Going, I looked away and now he's dead. What? What? I know, you rewind it back, you're going, nope, I've done it again. He's what? What did I miss? I've missed something. Why is he dead?
The medication is heart medication. It's kind of implied that he has a heart attack or that Pazuzu induces a heart attack.
Yeah, the whole thing is stress related, and
Pazuzu takes advantage.
so Merrin rushes back in the room. He's like, Father, Merrin, Father, and then he screams at the demon. He screams at her, take me, take me.
You son of a bitch!
And
bang!
See it in his eyes that it's now in him, and he fights it, and he manages to take it sort of into himself and throw himself out the window. Sacrificing himself for the child, and actually manages to hold it together before the demon takes too much control of what he is doing and runs out the window. And you go, oh. And as he's running out the window, Chris is now in the room and is holding Reagan.
Or it's just after he throws himself out the window.
Yeah, just after. I think actually it might be Kingdom or someone else in the room who, while she's holding, it might even be, yeah. So screams the demon, take me, take me. You see it in his eyes that he's been taken. He throws himself out of the window, and Reagan has been freed of this demon. You come to Karis at the bottom of the stage. You think, oh, maybe he survived. Oh no, not that amount of blood. Oh dear God, no.
He's still alive at that point.
He's not dead yet. And I was about to say he's not dead yet. And Dyer comes along and gives him the last rites. And you see his hand squeeze. It's all the goop and stuff on his hand. That's the bit. I'm like, all this horror, and I'm like, oh, that's a bit grim. That's it. It's like, ugh. I know, it's so stupid. Isn't it weird? Like, there's all these major things within a movie, and it's like really stupid things that make you go, oh. Like the pea green soup, oh well, it's a bit gross. Her face is a bit gross. I can't cope with anything to do with eyeballs. Give me an open chest wound, beating heart, stabbed. The minute something goes near an eye, I'm like, oh no, no. Is it done yet? I'm like, So it's quite funny. The things that make you go a bit squeamish. So unfortunately, Father Karras does die, but he's got Dyer with him in his last moments because he doesn't die instantaneously.
He's
Um,
got a boyfriend.
he's got his boyfriend. Yeah, they're holding hands like they did.
He's dead.
Not the first time they held hands because they held hands when he was drunk as well,
Yeah,
which I actually thought was really cute. It's like, no.
still in his shoes.
So yeah, so he was not alone. And then the last scene, everything is calmer. And it's quite sweet, it's quite emotional. I think there's probably music to it. Chris and Reagan are leaving the house, and Father Dyer comes to say goodbye to them. Chris goes round to the car, and it's really, really sweet. Reagan like wraps her arms around Dyer and gives him a big hug and a kiss goodbye. Um,
Yeah,
the Reagan that was Reagan at the beginning, the sweet,
yeah.
delightful child,
Innocent.
but she's still very pale at the minute, probably because she's been inside for quite a few months, and she's still got little cuts on her face, but you can see it's Reagan again. But
Yeah.
my brain goes, what, lifelong implications is this going to have on her? Like, this whole situation, what will it do? Bless her. But
Well, you find out in the TV show.
there you go. But at the same time, she remains that sweetness, that kindness once Pazuzu is gone.
Yeah.
To basically say sorry to Dyer that Karis has died, and she's sorry for that. And so it ends with them driving away, and Dyer emotionally looking at the stairs where Karis died. He's at the top of those stairs, and actually they're a bit like the stairs in the Joker.
Mm.
Sorry, it's just coming to me.
ADHD.
The ADHD brain. Whoop! I had an idea. Quick, run for it, otherwise it will be gone forever.
Oh,
Otherwise, you will know you had the idea. You just don't know
I
what
don't know what it was.
what
Yeah.
it was. You know you had. Why does it need to leave that remnant for you? You had a thought, yeah, but what was it?
Oh,
Did you write it down?
no.
No. I just know you had a thought. So yeah, stairs in Joker. Oh, that's another good film. Could do that one.
No. No, it's not a horror.
It's a psychological thriller. It is really fucking good, is what it is. And to me, that is more of a horror movie because that is the whole look at people who are not cared for if they have got mental health issues. That's what happens again when you are not listened to because he doesn't get listened to either.
Ah, okay.
And it all comes back to bite them in the ass. Anyway, so yeah, so it ends with Father Dyer looking down the stairs, sad music. The film ends.
All done. Finish.
Done. Fini. The end. So she does get saved, but like I said,
He does.
it's what emotional scars will it have on Chris and Reagan for the rest of their lives, having
Mm.
gone through something like that. So, but I thought it was very good, and I did enjoy it. And for something from 1973, I thought the filming and the making of it was impeccable.
Yeah. I
All
loved it. I love that film.
the actors and actresses in it are phenomenal, all of them. Like, yeah, it is one I would watch again, actually.
Yeah.
I would watch that. I quite enjoyed it. I think it's very clever. And again, I would quite like to watch it while not taking notes. So, so I can actually watch. Well,
Well, you'll just have to pop round, won't you, and watch
say
it at my house.
watch, watch while I'm drawing or scrolling on my phone is more inclined as opposed to taking copious amounts of notes. I'm going to have to
Well,
stop time
I
just
mean,
my
if
notes.
it's streaming anywhere, we can always, I'll just stick it on my tablet when we're in Sweden.
We can do. Yeah, I watched it on. What did I watch it on? Sky Cinema. So I could potentially.
Yeah, there we go. We'll just do that then. We'll watch it while we're on our hollybobs.
On our hollybobs, which are not that far away now. 80
Do
something.
people know why we're going on our hollybobs to Sweden?
They do now. They didn't. I don't. Have we said it? I don't think we.
No,
Did
I
we?
don't think we have.
Our tour of Ghost, and then leads to why not stay there for a week.
Yeah. So we're going to see Ghost in
Beach shopping. We're going to be, and then we're going to Stockholm. Yeah.
and then we're going. Yeah.
I will be educated even more. I will be. No, this is culture. This is learning some culture, and
Culture, culture, yeah, culture.
I'm saying right. I'm at day 561 or something on Duolingo. I still have not enough in Swedish to like have a conversation.
Today's 541 for me, and I could just about say
I love.
hello. How are you?
I can say jag älskar dig.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, love you.
I love you. It's like oh,
Love you.
just gotta go profess my love to people. They'll be like,
Yeah.
yeah, 561. Oh, do you want to see what my Duolingo looks like? Because of when I do my stuff, it is a bit swole.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, does it say miss me yet? No, don't forget me on that one. What it sometimes also says is, do you miss me? Is he looking a bit, oh, Duo's waiting. His tears in his eyes. I don't, it's like, so it's a real tangent now. We're on to Sweden and Duolingo and the
So,
random. Oh,
speaking
that
of
hold on.
random. Oh,
I can have one that does link to what we just watched, like a line in Swedish. Let me see if I can find it.
she has vomited pea green soup. Does that come
No,
up?
not quite. Um, see if I can find it. Oh, here we go. There are in oh no religious symbol. It is a religious symbol. I am probably not saying religious right. I need to listen to that again. But you know,
So, do you want to know some odd things about the Exorcist?
go on. Yes, yes. Now you can share all your little
So, two broken backs,
two broken backs. Oh yes, yes. The back behind the scenes stuff.
9 deaths,
Oh dear.
including Jack McGowan, who played Burke Dennings, who died very shortly after his filming was completed,
Yeah.
and the woman who played Karis's mother also died as soon as her part of the filming was completed. Um, they had a set, the whole of the set burnt down,
Yes, I saw that. We watched the fire.
except for Reagan's bedroom set.
Did they say in that they never found out why?
No, they never did.
They
Never
never
found
found out why it. Yeah.
out. They had the set blessed and then exorcised.
Says it all,
They
really.
had to, in order to be able to see the breath of the actors in the room, the set was actually refrigerated. It was in pretty much like inside a giant fridge freezer.
Oh, wow.
They brought the temperature of the set down so low so that everybody could see their breath. Linda Blair wore a nightie the entire time. She still has an aversion to cold. But they could only film for so long because once they turned the lights on, the temperature would go back up, couldn't see their breath anymore, turn all the lights back off, drop the temperature back down, start again that way. William Peter Blatty was known to fire guns around the set to get reactions from his actors. The scene where Karis is awoken by a telephone and he has the shocked look on his face. The shock look was not from the telephone, it was because William Peter Blatty had fired a gun about 6 inches away from his head.
As you do.
And he said, "Don't you ever do that to me again. I am an actor." This was Jason Miller's first film role. He'd previously been a stage actor. He also received a nomination for Best Supporting Actor for this film.
He did. He did. He was brilliant in it.
There was some controversy regarding Linda Blair. The lady who provided the voice of the demon, Mercedes McCambridge, did not receive a credit in the original film. She went uncredited and unheard until after Linda Blair had been nominated for Best Supporting Actress.
Mhm.
And Mercedes McCambridge went, hang on a minute, I did a lot of that too.
Yes.
And basically went on a campaign to get credit and get paid. um, she eventually did get the credit. But of course, once you've given someone an Oscar nomination, you can't take it back.
No.
But they seem to think that this whole issue with Mercedes McCambridge being the voice of the demon affected Linda Blair's chances of winning the Oscar. And she then did not win the Oscar that year, but it did go to the other child actor in her category, Tatum O'Neal for Paper Moon.
There you go.
Yes. There's just some little
Little tip.
facts I've got sprinkling there for you.
Little sprinkling, little interesting bits and pieces
Yeah,
about.
The Exorcist.
I couldn't think. I was trying to rack my brains of a ghost song that I would put with it, but I can only put Nocturnal Me with so many films. I was trying to think. Which image? No. Satan's Eyes.
Maybe. Maybe there'll be something on the new album.
Oh, that is true. Something might drop that I'll be like, that makes me think of The Exorcist. Or it might be really happy, cheerful music. You just don't know. You don't
We
know.
just don't know, do we? We don't know. Ghost. Could
What.
be anything.
At the moment, I'm just tired. Just like, yeah, whatever, just drop it, would you? The first show is only, what did I say it was? But I will double check just that I'm not like at time of filming today. No, I don't want that to go away. No, continue with limited. Today, yes, for the first night of the show is 44 days away at time.
Wow.
So if they drop the
Wow.
new music soon, so I have time to listen to it properly. Thank you very much. You know, I need to learn lyrics. We've got work, people. We've got work to do.
I have 48 days until London. We have 49 days until Birmingham, and we have 81 days until Linköping. I can't believe we're going to see them in Sweden. Okay, so that was the Exorcist.
Like, let us know.
What are we doing? What are we doing next?
The next one we have currently lined up. Whether it ends up in this order, you never know with us, because I've done that before where we mention the next one and then that's not what we've done. But the next one lined up for filming is Scream. So a more modern movie, and even that's what, 25 years old? Is it 20?
I'm not that old. You take that back.
I think it might be.
No. Oh God, you know it could be.
I think it is. Scream is from, oh, it really is, 1996.
No.
28 years old. 27, sorry. 28. Oh, there you go. 1996. He's old, but he's more modern than in 1973. So, you know.
I am deeply offended now.
No, really weird. It's like, oh my God, that's so weird, isn't it? It's like, oh.
Fantastic movie. Can't wait to talk about it with you.
So, Scream is older now than Exorcist was when Scream came out.
Came out. That's frightening.
He was only 23 years old when Scream came out, and the difference in the styling of movies then, whereas I think what sort of ages movies from like 96 onwards is the computers and the phones.
Yeah.
Otherwise, a lot of things have stayed don't age as much. I just don't think, you know, I will say to Alyssa, you know, something she's watching is like 20 years old, and she's like, wow, really? Whereas when I was younger and I watched something that was 20 years old, you could tell.
Yes.
In 1990, you're watching something from 1970. You could tell. Are you okay? Now you know how Scream is. You're like, no, it couldn't be possibly 20, 25 years old. No, it's closer to 30. Jesus. What am I talking? 28, 29. No, it's not. It's 29 years old this year. Next year it will be 30. Oh my God. Scream will be 30 next year. I'm not okay
I
with.
need I need a lie down
I need to.
and a rather large cup of tea. I need a cuddle.
It's horrible because they're the films you remember coming out, and you're going,
I saw Scream at the cinema. I had to get my dad to drive me from Oxford to Milton Keynes because it
"Oh wow,
wasn't on in Oxford. My dad had to drive me out to the massive multiplex in Milton Keynes and he fell asleep.
there's it all." But I do. I'm excited to do Scream because it's such a different style of movie to these older ones, and it does have that favourite thing in it, which we love, is those little snippets of humour. A bit
Yeah,
more like, actually, to be honest, it's a bit more like Return of the Living Dead.
yeah,
That was an 80s movie, so there's a little bit more of the, actually we need a bit of levity in amongst all the fear and the horror, because that's actually what keeps people engaged when they've had a little.
yeah. Very meta.
So
So that's that.
thank
So that's
you
we've
for
done the episode now.
thank you for joining us. Join us again soon. You need to sort your lights out because I'm my face. You can't see it. There we go. No, it's too bright. It's too bright. It's glowing, and your collar's gone weird again. But anyway, thank you for. Oh, you look good. Your lighting is good. It's too bright. I told you. All right. Okay. This is what I have to deal with. There you go. Now you can see him.
Snipe.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Oh, and you know, come haunt with us again very soon. And let us know any films that you would suggest, or if you'd like to, come and join and have a chat with us
That would
about
be great. Yeah. Let us know.
educating me further on my horror movies.
Bye.